Commander Han stood at the viewport of Outpost Horizon, watching the stars. His hands were behind his back, his face calm. But inside, he felt worry. The message from Earth Command had come 3 hours ago. Aliens had made contact with humans for the first time. "Commander, they're requesting your presence in the briefing room," said Kang, his young assistant. Han nodded and walked through the steel corridors of the space station. Other officers moved out of his way. They all knew about the aliens. Fear was in their eyes. In the briefing room, 5 senior officers sat around a table. Admiral Kim looked up as Han entered. "Commander Han, thank you for coming quickly. We have a problem with our new alien friends." Han took a seat. The large screen on the wall showed strange creatures. They stood on 2 legs like humans but were covered in thick scales. Their heads had no hair, and their mouths were full of sharp teeth. "The Vrol," Admiral Kim said. "They made contact with our embassy ship yesterday. At first, things seemed peaceful." "What happened?" Han asked. "They see us as food, not friends." The Admiral's voice was flat. "The Vrol are hunters. They believe stronger species should rule weaker ones. When they saw humans, they decided we are weak." Han watched the screen as it showed a meeting between humans and the Vrol. The aliens towered over the human diplomats. One Vrol pushed a human to the ground with ease. "They've given us a choice," continued the Admiral. "Submit to them as a lesser species or face them in combat." "We fight," Han said simply. "Yes, but not with ships or guns. The Vrol have an old tradition. Combat between beasts. Each side brings their strongest animals to fight. The winner earns respect and territory." Han's eyes widened. "Like gladiators." "Exactly. The Vrol use massive creatures they call battle beasts. 6-legged hunters bigger than earth bears. Very smart, very deadly." The room was quiet. Then the Admiral looked straight at Han. "That's why we called you, Commander. Your wolf program." Han felt his heart beat faster. For 5 years, he had led Project Silver Fang. They had bred and trained special wolves for combat, enhanced with the best technology Earth had. Most military leaders had laughed at his program, preferring robot fighters instead. "My wolves are not ready for this," Han said. "They must be." Admiral Kim pushed a folder across the table. "You have 1 month to prepare your pack. The combat will happen on a neutral planet called Nexus." Han opened the folder. Inside were pictures of the Vrol battle beasts, massive creatures with armored skin and claws like knives. They killed with terrible efficiency. "If we lose?" Han asked. "Earth must give the Vrol control of 3 colony worlds and accept their dominance." Han closed the folder. "And if we win?" "They will respect our borders and rights as equals." Han stood up. His mind was already working, thinking of his wolves. They were strong and smart, but not as big as these alien monsters. They would need to use pack tactics, speed, and strategy. "I'll need my team," Han said. "June, Tai, Ji, and Dr. Sun." "Granted," said the Admiral. "And you have full access to any resources you need." Han bowed slightly. "I won't let Earth down." As he left the room, Han touched the small scar on his right hand. A wolf bite from long ago, when he first began working with the animals. His mind went to Duma, the alpha female of his pack. Their bond was special. He had raised her from a pup. Now, the fate of humanity might rest on Duma and her pack. Han walked faster. He had calls to make, a team to gather, and wolves to prepare for the greatest hunt of their lives. The shuttle landed smoothly at the Wolf Training Center in the mountains of what was once called Korea. Commander Han felt the cool air hit his face as the door opened. Home. 5 years of his life had been spent in this remote place, working with his wolves. "It's good to be back," said Jun, Han's second in command. He stood next to Han, breathing in the pine-scented air. "Will they remember you?" asked Ta, the team's tactical expert. She carried her equipment in a large black case. Hans smiled. They'd never forget. The three walked toward the main building. G, the communications specialist, and Dr. Sun, the veterinary scientist, would arrive tomorrow. Time was short. They had only 4 weeks to prepare for the battle with the Vrol beasts. Inside the control room, Han pressed his hand on a scanner. A door slid open, revealing a large indoor training area. And there they were, 7 gray wolves, larger than normal wolves, watching the door with alert eyes. Duna, Han called softly. The largest female wolf moved forward. Her eyes were amber, intelligent. She approached Han slowly, then pressed her head against his hand. The other wolves followed, moving around the humans with curious sniffs. Amazing, whispered Ta. They're so calm with us. They know your pack, Han said. He knelt beside Duna, checking her implants, small bits of technology visible under her fur. Not enough to hurt her, just enough to help with communication and healing. June walked to a computer console. All 7 are in perfect health. Duna, Maru, Hana, Sora, Bin, Ja, and Ran. Han nodded. Good. We start training tomorrow. That night, Han sat alone in his office. On his desk was an old photo. A small boy with a wolf pup in his arms. Han touched the picture, remembering. He had been 10 years old, hiking in these same mountains with his father. They had found the orphaned wolf pup, its mother killed by poachers. Against his father's wishes, Han had carried the pup home. For 2 years, he had raised it, learning how wolves think and move. When the wolf grew too wild to keep, he released it back to the mountains. But that connection had never left him. Years later, when he joined the military, Han proposed the wolf program. Most laughed. Why use animals when robots were stronger and didn't need food or rest? But Han knew what robots didn't have. Heart, instinct, pack loyalty. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Come in, Han said. June entered, carrying 2 cups of hot tea. I've been looking at the Vrol beast files. They're 3 times the size of our largest wolf. Han took the tea. Size isn't everything. No, but it helps, Jum said with a small smile. The team is worried. They should be, Han replied. This won't be easy, but wolves don't hunt like other animals. They use the pack. They think ahead. Like humans, Jun said. Yes, that's why I chose wolves. They're like us in the ways that matter. Han stood up and looked at the night sky through his window. The Vrol think we're weak because we're smaller. They don't understand that true strength isn't always about size or teeth or claws. What is it about then? Jun asked. Working together, thinking ahead, caring for your pack. Han turned back to his friend. Tomorrow we start battle simulations. Todd will create a program based on what we know about the Vrol beasts. And if what we know isn't enough, Han's face was serious. Then we adapt, just like wolves have done for thousands of years. We watch, we learn, we change our tactics. June nodded and got up to leave. At the door, he paused. The wolves sense your confidence. It makes them confident too. When Han was alone again, he called up holographic images of the Vrol beasts. Massive, powerful creatures. But he noticed something. They fought alone, not as a group. Each beast relied on its own strength. That would be their weakness. His wolves had something better than size. They had each other. The military ship Baekdu moved silently through space. Inside, Commander Han watched as Dr. Sun worked on Duna. The wolf lay still on the table as Dr. Sun checked the small metal implants along her spine. How is she? Han asked. Dr. Sun smiled. Perfect. All 7 wolves are ready for the final upgrades. She pointed to a screen showing Duna's vital signs. Their strength is now twice that of normal wolves. Their healing is 3 times faster. Han nodded. And the neural link. See for yourself. Dr. Sun handed him a small device that fit behind his ear. Han put it on, and closed his eyes. Suddenly, he could feel Duna's presence in his mind. Not words, but feelings. Images. He sent her a mental picture of running together. Duna's tail wagged on the table. "It works," Han said, amazed. "Better than in our tests on Earth." "I made improvements," Dr. Sun said proudly. "You can now share simple commands with all 7 wolves at once." In the ship's main room, the rest of the team watched videos of the Vrol beasts in action. The screen showed huge 6-limbed creatures with thick armor-like skin. They moved fast for their size, taking down prey with powerful bites. 3 species have lost to these beasts, said Jai, the communications expert. The Vrol made them all into servant races. Todd pointed to one of the screens. "Look how they'd fight. Always head-on. All power, no tricks." June nodded. "They've never needed tricks. They've always been the biggest and strongest." Han entered the room with Duna walking beside him. The other wolves followed in a perfect line. "Until now," Han said, "they've never faced wolves." For the next week, as the Bekdu traveled toward the neutral planet Nexus, Han and his team trained constantly. In the ship's large exercise room, they created mock battles. Holographic images of Vrol beasts attacked from all sides while the wolves learned to work together against them. "Faster, Ran," Han called to the smallest male wolf. "Maru, cover his flank." The wolves moved as one unit, attacking the virtual beasts from different angles. They never stayed still, never attacked alone. At night, Han would sit with his wolves, strengthening their mental bond. He could now feel each one in his mind, their unique personalities clear to him. Duna was the leader, wise and cautious. Maru was the strongest fighter, always first to attack. Hana was the fastest. Sora was the most clever. Bin, Jai, and Ran each had their own strengths too. 3 days before they would reach Nexus, Admiral Kim called from Earth. "Commander Han, what is your status?" The Admiral's face was serious on the screen. "We're ready, sir," Han replied. "The wolves have adapted well to the neural link. We've studied every bit of data on the Vrol beasts." "Good." The Admiral paused. "There's something new. The Vrol have sent details about the 3 challenges you'll face." Han leaned forward. "Tell me." "First, a hunt. Your wolves against their beasts, tracking native prey on Nexus. Second, a defense test. You must protect a position against local predators. Third, direct combat between your wolves and their beasts." Han thought for a moment. "The first 2 play to our strengths. Wolves are natural hunters and defenders. The third will be the hardest." "Can you win?" the Admiral asked bluntly. Han looked back at his team and the 7 wolves resting nearby. "Yes, sir, we can win." After the call ended, Jun approached Han. "You sound very sure." "I have to be," Han said. "The wolves sense fear. If I doubt, they doubt." That night, as the Bekdu moved closer to Nexus, Han stood at the viewing window. The stars streaked by as the ship traveled faster than light. Dr. Sun joined him. "Are you worried?" "Yes," Han admitted. "The Vrol beasts could kill my wolves. My friends." She put a hand on his arm. "The wolves would die for you, but your job is to make sure they don't have to." Han nodded. In 2 days, they would reach Nexus. The battle for Earth's future would begin. And his wolves would be ready. Planet Nexus looked like a blue-white marble from space. As the Bekdu entered orbit, Han and his team gathered at the windows. Below them, white ice covered most of the planet's surface. "It's like Earth's Arctic," said Tai, checking her datapad. "But colder, much colder." "Good," said Han. "Wolves do well in cold places." The landing was smooth. When the ship's door opened, bitter wind rushed in. Han and his team wore thick coats. The wolves needed no such protection. Their thick fur was made for cold weather. Outside, 3 Vrol waited, They stood on two legs, their scaled bodies twice as tall as a human. Their faces had no noses, just breathing slits, and their eyes were yellow with black lines. "Humans," said the middle Vrol. Its voice was deep and rough. "I am Ka, battle master of the Vrol. You are late." Han stepped forward. "Commander Han of Earth, we are exactly on time." K made a sound like rocks grinding together. A laugh, perhaps. Small creatures are often afraid to arrive first. Han said nothing. He had been warned the Vrol would try to make him angry. Angry fighters make mistakes. "Where are your battle beasts?" asked Ka. Han whistled once. The 7 wolves walked down the ship's ramp in perfect formation. Duna in front, the others behind her. The Vrol looked at the wolves, then made that grinding sound again. "These are your champions. They are smaller than I expected." "Size isn't everything," Han said calmly. Kay pointed to a large building in the distance. "Come. The other witnesses wait. I will show you our beasts." The walk was long and cold. The wolves moved easily through the snow, their paws leaving light prints. Han could feel their excitement through the neural link. They loved this weather. Inside the large building, representatives from several alien species sat in rows. They would watch the competition. Some looked nervous when they saw the Vrol. Others looked at Han and his wolves with pity. At the far end of the room were 3 massive cages. Inside each cage was a Vrol battle beast. Han stopped to look at them. The beasts were huge. 6 powerful legs supported bodies twice the size of Earth's largest bears. They had no fur, only thick skin that looked like armor. Their heads had 3 eyes and mouths full of teeth as long as Han's fingers. "Impressive," Han said, showing no fear. "They have killed many challengers," said Kay proudly. "They are bred for war." One of the beasts slammed against its cage, reaching a clawed foot toward the wolves. The wolves did not back away. They stood their ground, watching with calm eyes. "The rules," said Ka. "Tomorrow is the hunt. You and your beasts will track and capture the snow leapers. The day after is the defense test. On the 3rd day, our beasts will fight yours directly." Han nodded. "What are snow leapers?" Kay pointed to a screen showing white 6-legged animals that looked like large rabbits. "They are fast and hard to catch. Many hunting teams fail. And if we win 2 of the 3 challenges?" Han asked. "Then humans will be respected as equals," said Ka. "If you lose, Earth will surrender the colony worlds as agreed." A smaller Vrol approached with drinks. It handed one to Ka, who drank deeply. "Rest tonight," Kay said. "Tomorrow we meet at dawn." Han and his team were shown to their quarters. The room was cold with simple beds and no decorations. "They're trying to make us uncomfortable," said June. Han shrugged. "It doesn't matter. The wolves are happy here. That's what counts." Through the neural link, Han could feel the wolves' thoughts. They had seen the Vrol beasts. They were not afraid, just curious. "Tomorrow," Han told his team, "we show the Vrol what wolves can do." That night, while the others slept, Han went to check on the wolves in their holding area. Duna came to him, pressing her head against his hand. "We can do this," he whispered to her. "Together." In the darkness, Duna's eyes glowed with trust. Dawn on Nexus brought a pink light across the snow. Han and his team stood at the starting point, a wide flat area surrounded by ice hills. The 7 wolves sat in a perfect line, alert and ready. 30 meters away, the Vrol team waited with their 3 battle beasts. The huge creatures pulled at their restraints, eager to begin the hunt. Ka, the battle master, stood between the teams. "The rules are simple. Each team must catch 5 snow leapers. The fastest team wins. You have until sunset." Han nodded. Through his neural link, he sent images to the wolves, showing them what snow leapers looked like. "Begin," Ka shouted. The Vrol released their beasts, which charged into the hills, moving surprisingly fast for their size. Their 6 legs dug into the snow with powerful motions. Han looked at his wolves. "Fine," he said simply. The wolves moved as one, spreading out in a fan shape. Duma took the lead, her nose close to the ground. The others followed her signals, covering more ground together than alone. Tai stayed with Han, carrying a tracking device. "The snow leapers are about 2 kilometers north," she said. "They're hiding in the ice caves." Han pressed his hand to his neural link device. He sent the information to Duna, who changed direction. The other wolves followed. From a viewing platform above, the alien delegates watched both teams. "The human beasts are too small," one said. "And too few," said another. 3 Vrol beasts against 7 smaller creatures. Still, the Vrol have the advantage. Han ignored them. He followed his wolves at a steady pace, watching how they worked together. Unlike the Vrol beasts, which had run off in different directions, his wolves maintained contact with each other. The first success came quickly. The Vrol beasts, using their strength and speed, caught a snow leaper in the open. The crowd cheered. "One for the Vrol," announced Kay proudly. Han wasn't worried. His wolves had reached the ice caves. Through the neural link, he could see what Duna saw. The white snow leapers were hiding inside, their long ears twitching with fear. "Surround," Han commanded. The wolves moved to block all exits from the caves. Then Maru and Bin went inside, driving the snow leapers out. As the creatures tried to escape, the waiting wolves caught them one by one. 3 for the humans," the announcer called. Ka looked surprised. The Vrol beasts had caught a second snow leaper, but they were hunting alone, not working together. The sun climbed higher. The Vrol beasts caught a third snow leaper. Han's wolves caught a fourth. "The score is 4-3, in favor of the humans," the announcer said. "Each team needs one more to complete the challenge." The final hour was tense. One Vrol beast had wandered far away, following tracks. Another was tired, its movements slower. The third continued to hunt with power but little strategy. Han's wolves had also split up, but in a planned way. 3 searched the high ground, 2 checked the flat areas, and Duna and Sora followed fresh tracks. Through the neural link, Han felt Duna's excitement. She had found something. "Go to Duna," Han told the other wolves. They converged on her position. A snow leaper was cornered against a wall of ice. It was fast, darting left and right, but the wolves had it surrounded. "Careful," Han whispered. Together. The wolves closed in slowly, each step planned. When the snow leaper tried to jump over them, Hannah leaped and caught it gently in her jaws. 5 for the humans, the announcer called. "The first trial goes to Earth." The crowd murmured in surprise. Ka's face showed anger. "Luck," he growled. "The second trial will not be so easy." Han called his wolves back. They returned tired but proud, carrying their catches carefully. Through the neural link, Han sent them feelings of praise and love. "Not luck," Han said to Ka. "Teamwork." That night, as his wolves rested, Han knew the Vrol would be more prepared tomorrow. The defense trial would be harder. But his wolves had shown something important today. They were smarter than the Vrol beasts. And sometimes, smart beats strong. The second day on Nexus brought dark clouds and strong winds. Han stood with his team at the testing grounds, a circular area with a small hill in the center. On top of the hill was a red flag. "Today's challenge is simple," Kel explained to both teams. "Each team must defend their flag from the ice hunters. The team that keeps their flag the longest wins." Han looked at the viewing screens. They showed the ice hunters, large white cat-like creatures with sharp teeth and 6 legs. They looked fast and hungry. "How many ice hunters?" Han asked. "Waves of 3, then 5, then 10, Kay said with a smile that showed his sharp teeth. "They get hungrier with each wave." The Vrol went first. They placed their flag and positioned their 3 battle beasts in a tight circle around the hill. The beasts stood still, like a wall of muscle and claws. When the first 3 ice hunters were released, they charged the hill from different sides. The Vrol beasts didn't move until the last moment, then struck with incredible power. One ice hunter was thrown 10 meters through the air. Another was pinned down. The third retreated quickly. "Impressive," said June as they watched. The second wave of 5 ice hunters attacked more carefully. They tried to find gaps between the Vrol beasts. 2 managed to slip past and run up the hill, but a Vrol beast caught them before they reached the flag. The final wave of 10 ice hunters was more difficult. They attacked as a group, overwhelming one side of the defense. 3 reached the hill, and 1 grabbed the flag in its teeth. But a Vrol beast caught it just before it could run away. 37 minutes, announced Ka. A strong defense. Now it was Earth's turn. Han gathered his wolves on the second hill. "We won't defend like the Vrol," he told them. "We'll be mobile." Through the neural link, he showed them his plan. Instead of standing still, the wolves would move constantly, intercepting the ice hunters before they got close. When the first 3 ice hunters were released, the wolves didn't wait. Maru, Bin, and Jay ran out to meet them, herding them away from the hill. They didn't try to fight directly, but kept the hunters confused and moving in the wrong direction. "Smart," Ta said. "They're using less energy." The second wave was harder. 5 ice hunters came from different angles. This time, Duna stayed by the flag while the others formed a moving perimeter. When an ice hunter broke through, Duna was waiting. "They're going to win," Jun said with excitement. Then something unexpected happened. During the third wave, an ice hunter jumped from a higher rock than anyone expected. It landed near June, who was helping Han coordinate the wolves. "June," Han shouted as the ice hunter lunged. Without hesitation, Sora and Ran left their positions and raced to June. They placed themselves between him and the ice hunter, teeth bared. The ice hunter hesitated, then backed away. But this left a gap in their defense. 2 ice hunters raced toward the flag. "Duna, behind you," Han called through the neural link. Duna turned and caught one ice hunter, but the other grabbed the flag and ran. Hana, the fastest wolf, chased it down just before it reached the boundary line. She tackled it gently, taking the flag back without hurting the creature. "Time expired," Kay announced. 37 minutes, the same as the Vrol. Han patted each wolf as they returned, especially Sora and Ran. "You did the right thing," he told them. Protecting June was more important than the flag. The wolves pressed against his legs, tired but proud. "A tie," Kay said, looking less confident than before. "Tomorrow will decide everything." That night, Dr. Sun checked each wolf carefully. "They're in good shape," she told Han. "Ready for tomorrow." Han nodded. "The Vrol are worried now. They've never faced an opponent who matched them in 2 trials. Tomorrow will be different," Jun said. "No ice hunters or snow leapers, just our wolves against their beasts." Han looked out at the snowy landscape. "We've shown we can hunt better and defend as well. Tomorrow we show we can fight better too." But inside he worried. The direct combat would be dangerous for his wolves. The Vrol beasts were much bigger and stronger. They would need a perfect plan to win. Han woke in the middle of the night to the sound of an alarm. His neural link burned with panic, not his own, but from his wolves. He jumped from his bed and ran to the holding area where they slept. "What's happening?" June asked, running behind him. When they reached the wolf quarters, they found Dr. Sun already there. She knelt beside Sora, who lay on her side, breathing fast. "Poison," Dr. Sun said, her face tight with worry. "Someone gave her something that's making her sick." The other wolves paced nervously around their fallen packmate. Duna kept nudging Sora with her nose, trying to help her get up. "How?" Han asked, kneeling beside Sora. "I found this in her water bowl." Dr. Sun held up a small blue crystal. "It's dissolving, but I saved some to test." Han felt anger rise in his chest. "The Vrol." "We don't know that yet," Jun said, but his face showed he believed it too. Jai rushed in, holding her communication device. "I've been monitoring Vrol transmissions," she said. "They're worried about losing. I just caught a message saying, 'Make sure the small beasts don't all make it to the arena.'" Han stood up. "Watch the wolves," he told Jun. "Don't let anyone in here except our team." "Where are you going?" Jun asked. "To see Kay." Han marched through the cold halls of the building, his steps quick and angry. He found Kay in the main hall, talking with other Vrul. "You poisoned my wolf," Han said loudly. The alien delegates watching nearby fell silent. Kay turned slowly. "A serious accusation, human. I have proof." Han held up the crystal Dr. Sun had given him. This was in Sora's water. It's poison. Ka looked at the crystal. "Many things on Nexus are poisonous to Earth creatures. Perhaps your wolf ate something during the trials. This wasn't in her food. It was in her water, in our secure area." Han stepped closer to Ka. "The rules of the challenge say no sabotage. Are the Vrol so afraid of losing that they must cheat?" Ka's yellow eyes narrowed. "The Vrol do not fear small prey animals." "Then who put this in my wolf's water?" The room was silent. The other delegates watched carefully. "I will investigate," Kay finally said. "If someone has broken the rules, they will be punished." "And tomorrow's trial?" Han asked. "Continues as planned." Ka's voice was cold. "Unless you wish to surrender now." "Never," Han said. "We will be there. All of us." Back in the wolf quarters, Han found Dr. Sun injecting medicine into Sora's leg. "How is she?" he asked. "I've given her something to counteract the poison," Dr. Sun said. "She's strong. She'll live, but she won't be able to fight tomorrow." Han sat beside Sora, stroking her fur. "So we have 6 wolves against 3 battle beasts. Still 2-1 in our favor," Ta said, trying to sound positive. "Numbers aren't everything," Han reminded her. "The Vrol beasts are each worth 3 of our wolves in size and strength." Through the night, they took turns watching over Sora and the other wolves. Ji continued monitoring Vrol communications. "They're planning something else," she told Han as morning approached. "I caught a partial message about arena advantages. They're going to try to cheat again tomorrow," Jun said. Han nodded. "We'll be ready." As the sun rose, Han gathered his team. "The Vrol are afraid," he told them. "They wouldn't try to poison Sora if they were confident." "What's our plan?" Tai asked. Han looked at his 6 healthy wolves. "We use their fear against them. They expect us to be angry and rush in without thinking. Instead, we'll be cold and calculating." "Like wolves," Jum said with a small smile. "Exactly." Han knelt beside Duna. Through the neural link, he could feel her anger about Sora, but also her determination. The Vrol think in terms of 1-to-1 battles. They can't understand how a pack works together. That's their weakness, Tay realized. "Yes." Han stood up. "And today we'll show them why humans and wolves have been partners for thousands of years. Because together, we're stronger than any beast." As they prepared for the final trial, Han visited Sora one last time. She was awake now, but weak. "Rest," he told her. "We'll win this for you." Through the neural link, he felt her response. Not defeat, but a fierce belief in her pack. Han walked toward the arena, his 6 wolves beside him. Today would decide everything. The arena was huge, a bowl-shaped area with rocks, ice walls, and small hills. Hundreds of aliens sat in rows around it, waiting for the final battle. Han stood at one entrance with his 6 wolves. Across the arena, the Vrol team waited with their 3 massive battle beasts. "Remember the plan," Han told his wolves through the neural link. "Never fight one-on-one. Always attack together." Ka stepped into the center of the arena. "The final trial is combat," he announced. "The battle ends when all beasts on one side cannot fight, or when a team surrenders." Han looked at the Vrol beasts. They were even bigger than he remembered. Each one was as large as 3 wolves put together. Their armored skin would be hard to bite through. "Begin," Ka shouted, then quickly left the arena. The Vrol released their beasts, which charged forward with terrifying speed. Their 6 legs moved in perfect rhythm, covering ground quickly. "Spread out," Han commanded his wolves. The wolves split into 3 pairs. Duna with Maru, Hana with Bin, and Jay with Ran. Each pair moved to a different part of the arena, forcing the Vrol beasts to choose which to chase. One beast headed for Jay and Ran, the smallest wolves. It cornered them against an ice wall. "Hold your ground," Han told them. "Wait for the right moment." The Vrol beast attacked, swinging massive claws at the wolves. Jai and Ran dodged, moving in opposite directions. The beast turned to follow Ran, who was smaller. "Now Jai," Han called. Jay leaped at the beast from behind, biting its back leg. The beast roared and spun around. This gave Ran time to escape from the corner. Across the arena, Duna and Maru faced a second beast. Instead of running, they stood their ground. The beast charged straight at them. "Wait," Han told them. "Wait." At the last second, both wolves jumped aside. The Vrol beast, unable to stop, crashed into a rock wall. The crowd gasped. "Smart move," Jun said from beside Han. But the advantage didn't last long. The third Vrol beast caught Bin in its jaws and threw him across the arena. Bin hit the ground hard and didn't get up. "Bin is hurt," Ta cried. Han felt pain through his neural link. Bin was alive but couldn't fight. 5 wolves left, Ka called out with a laugh. Han didn't panic. "Hana, join Duna and Maru," he told her. 3 on 1. Hana raced across the arena to join the others. Together, the 3 wolves circled a Vrol beast, darting in to bite its legs, then jumping away before it could strike back. "They're tiring it out," Ju realized. But the other 2 Vrol beasts were heading toward Han's wolves. Soon, they would be outnumbered. "Time to join them," Han said, removing his jacket. "What are you doing?" Jun asked in shock. "Helping my pack." Han pressed a button on his neural link device. Now the wolves could not just receive his thoughts, but share their instincts with him. Han ran into the arena. The crowd went silent. No human had ever entered a beast battle before. Through the neural link, Han felt the wolves' excitement. He ran toward Jay and Ran, who were still trying to escape their Vrol beast. Together, he told them, "Attack the same leg." Han picked up a sharp piece of ice. When the Vrol beast turned toward him, Han threw the ice at its eye. The beast roared in pain. At that moment, Jay and Ran attacked its back leg, biting down hard at the same spot. The beast's leg buckled. Across the arena, Duna, Maru, and Hana had their Vrol beast trapped against a wall. They worked perfectly together, one distracting it while the others attacked from behind. "They're winning," someone in the crowd shouted. But the third Vrol beast was still strong. It charged toward Han, moving faster than he could run. "Han!" Jun yelled from outside the arena. Through the neural link, Han called for help. Instantly, all 5 wolves broke away from their battles and raced toward him. They formed a line between Han and the charging beast. The Vrol beast didn't slow down. It crashed into the wolves, sending 2 flying. But the others held their ground. The battle was now at its most dangerous point. 2 Vrol beasts were injured but still fighting. One was fresh and strong. Han had 5 wolves, but 2 were hurt. Han looked at Duna. They would need something special to win. Han stood in the center of the arena, his 5 remaining wolves gathered around him. 2 Vrol beasts limped on injured legs. The third and largest beast circled them, looking for a weak spot. "We need to finish this now," Han told his wolves through the neural link. "Before anyone else gets hurt." The largest Vrol beast roared in charge. Instead of running away, Han and the wolves separated in a planned move. Duna, Maru, and Ran went left. Han, Jai, and Hana went right. The beast hesitated, then followed Han's group. It was the wrong choice. Now, Han shouted. Duna's group attacked from behind. They bit the beast's back legs at the same time. The beast turned to fight them, but this left its side open. Jai, Hana, with me, Han called. The three raced toward the beast's exposed side. Han had a plan. Through the neural link, he showed the wolves exactly what he wanted them to do. Be brave, he told them. As they reached the beast, Han dropped and slid on the ice under its body. The beast tried to smash him with its legs, but Jay distracted it by biting its front leg. Under the beast, Han saw what he was looking for, a soft spot where the armored skin was thinner. He pulled a small device from his pocket, a shock stick given to him by Ta. Han pressed it against the beast's soft underside. The beast roared in pain and reared up on its back legs. This was the moment they needed. All wolves now, Han shouted. All 5 wolves attacked at once, biting the beast's exposed parts. Han rolled away just in time as the beast came crashing down. The beast fought hard, throwing off 2 wolves. But its strength was fading. Finally, it tried to stand but couldn't. It lay on its side, breathing hard but unable to fight. The crowd was silent, then erupted in cheers. The other 2 injured vrol beasts backed away, sensing the battle was lost. The humans win, announced the official from the viewing stand. The trial is complete. Han gathered his wolves around him. They were tired and some were hurt, but all were alive. He sent them feelings of pride and love through the neural link. The crowd surrounded them, many touching Han's shoulder or looking at the wolves with new respect. Kale approached slowly. The vrol battle master looked surprised but not angry. You fought beside your beasts, Kay said. No vrol would do this. They're not just beasts, Han replied. They're pack. Family. Kay nodded slowly. The vrol have never lost a beast challenge. Until today. He held out his scaled hand. You have earned our respect, human. Han shook Ka's hand. And you have earned ours by accepting the results fairly. Later, back on the ship, Dr. Sun treated the wolves' injuries. Bin and Sora were recovering well. The other wolves rested nearby, exhausted but content. Admiral Kim called from Earth. His face showed relief on the screen. Well done, Commander Han, he said. The vrol have signed a new treaty. They recognize humans as equals now, not prey species. The wolves did all the work, Han said. The Admiral nodded. They're heroes. When you return, there will be a ceremony to honor them. After the call ended, Han sat with his wolves. Duna rested her head on his lap. Through the neural link, he felt her calm happiness. We showed them something today, Han told his team. Not just that we can fight, but how we fight. Together, said June. Yes, Han stroked Duna's fur. The vrol fight alone, each beast for itself. But we fight as one unit, helping each other. Like humans have always done, Jay added. Han smiled. Like humans and wolves have done for thousands of years. We're stronger together than apart. As the Vectu lifted off from Nexus, Han looked down at the icy planet. The vrol had learned an important lesson today, one that would protect Earth for years to come. Size and strength weren't everything. Intelligence, loyalty, and teamwork mattered more. The pack was what made them strong.